This episode of Thinking in English is proudly sponsored by the That Makes Sensei podcast. Dan Sensei and Stu Sensei have come together to make a new, amazing resource for English learners around the world. Stu and Dan, why don't you introduce your podcast to everyone listening?
We love the podcast you have made, Tom.
It really helps English learners understand English to a higher level.
And if you want to improve your English comprehension through real-life conversations,
check out the That Makes Sensei podcast.
You can find us on all major podcast platforms, and we have new episodes every Friday.
Thanks a lot, and back to you, Tom.
Hello, I'm Tom Wilkinson, and welcome to the Thinking in English podcast, a podcast for intermediate to advanced level English learners. I'm sure many of you have heard about AI and ChatGPT, but have you ever thought about using them to help you study, practice, and learn English? Listen to this episode for a complete introduction to ChatGPT and its uses and limitations for English learners. You can find the full transcript for today's episode over on the Thinking in English blog. Click the link in the description. Leave a like, rating, or review if you enjoyed this episode. Head over to Patreon to join my conversation clubs. Here is today's episode. ChatGPT and artificial intelligence have dominated the technology news over the last few months. After its release to the public in December, millions of people have tried ChatGPT, including me. It can write poetry in the style of Shakespeare about any topic you like. It can create interesting captions for Instagram posts. Or it can rewrite and summarize difficult texts. As a language learner, I immediately realized that ChatGPT and future AI technology is going to be an amazing tool and resource. Although still early, the technology behind ChatGPT will be able to help people learn languages, prepare for exams, and improve their writing skills. This episode of Thinking in English will first explain what AI is and how ChatGPT works, before giving you tips and advice on how to use such technology in your English studying routine. Artificial intelligence is the simulation of human intelligence in machines that are programmed to think and act like humans. The main objective of AI is to create machines that can perform tasks that typically require human intelligence, such as learning, problem solving, decision making, and perception. AI can be categorized into two main types: narrow or weak AI, and general or strong AI. Narrow AI refers to systems designed to perform a specific task, such as recognizing an image, a speech, or a piece of text, while general AI refers to AI systems that can perform any intellectual task that a human can. There are many practical applications of AI in various fields, including healthcare, finance, transportation, and education. One of the most common and everyday uses of AI is in virtual assistants. Most people now have a virtual assistant in their pocket, like Apple's Siri, or in their homes. My parents have an Amazon Alexa. These are AI-powered applications that can perform various tasks, such as scheduling appointments, sending messages, and playing music. Many car companies are now working on developing autonomous vehicles, or self-driving cars, that can work using AI. These will be able to navigate and operate on their own without human intervention, and are expected to revolutionize transportation in coming years. And AI is commonly used in the design and development of robots that can perform tasks that are typically done by humans. Robots are used in various applications, such as manufacturing, healthcare, and space exploration. So now I've explained artificial intelligence, maybe I should explain ChatGPT. ChatGPT is a computer program that has been trained to understand and respond messages written by humans, similar to how people talk to each other. It uses a special kind of math called deep learning to learn from a lot of text that it has read, and it uses that learning to generate its own messages in response to new messages it receives. For example, you can ask ChatGPT, "How are you?" and it will respond, "I'm okay." The GPT in ChatGPT stands for Generative Pre-trained Transformer, which is a type of computer program that has been specifically designed to generate written language that sounds like it was written by a human. It uses something called neural networks to learn from a lot of text that it has read, and this allows it to generate new text that sounds natural and similar to how humans might write. ChatGPT works by analyzing text data to identify patterns and relationships between words and phrases. It builds a model of the language, which is then trained on large amounts of text data in order to learn and use more patterns and more relationships. Once the model has been trained, it can be used to generate responses to prompts in a way that is similar to how humans would respond. When replying to a question, ChatGPT uses the context of the question to create sentences that it believes will be the best answer or the best response to the prompt. One of the key features of ChatGPT is its ability to write in a way that is coherent and grammatically correct. However, it is important to note that ChatGPT may sometimes generate responses that are inappropriate or off-topic due to its lack of understanding of context. It is a computer program, after all, not a human. So how can ChatGPT be used to study English? I'm sure many of you have seen articles online about ChatGPT, and many of you have probably tried using it. Maybe you asked it to write something amusing, like a song or a joke. But ChatGPT can be an incredibly powerful tool for improving language skills, including reading comprehension, writing skills, and vocabulary. It can be used by intermediate and advanced English learners, like you guys, to practice and improve your language skills in a fun and interactive way. For example, it can be used to improve reading comprehension by generating questions based on a given passage or text. You can enter a text into the AI and ask it to make questions based on that text. This is an amazing tool to practice your reading comprehension skills, and it can ensure that you have understood the content. I've actually tried doing this myself, and if you're reading the blog, or if you're listening, you should go to the blog because I've put pictures of everything I'm going to say. So I have tried everything I'm going to say. I've tried to ask ChatGPT, and it has done it for me. So you can see the images on the blog. You can also use ChatGPT to generate writing prompts. You can input a topic into the model and ask it to generate writing prompts based on that topic. This is great for practicing writing skills and developing the ability to write coherently and fluently. Moreover, once you write something, you can enter your text back into ChatGPT and ask it to check for any mistakes. One thing I used ChatGPT for recently is generating word associations and lists. I wrote a bonus Patreon episode on gibberish and similar words. I thought of 5 or 6 words myself, and then I entered these into the AI and asked it to continue my list. And it did. It ended up making 13 or 14 similar words to gibberish. This could be great for building your vocabulary, And you can combine this with the AI's ability to translate languages and define words. When you don't have an English teacher, don't worry, use ChatGPT. Enter your sentences into the AI and ask it to generate example sentences or correct any errors in that sentence. This can help you identify and correct grammar mistakes and improve your writing skills at the same time. And you can use ChatGPT for conversational practice by engaging in simulated conversations with the model. You write a question or a prompt, then you practice your conversation skills by responding to the responses. ChatGPT can also be used to help English learners prepare for language tests, such as TOEFL, IELTS, and the Cambridge English exams. It can make questions based on test content, allowing you to practice your test-taking skills and improve your scores. It can be used to simulate tests and generate instant feedback on test performance, helping you identify areas that need improvement. And like I said, I have tried all of these things on ChatGPT and it works. So you can look on the blog and see all of the images that I generated, or you can go and try it yourself. Make an account on OpenAI and go to ChatGPT and ask it, make me an IELTS reading test, or correct this email, and it will do it for you. While ChatGPT is a powerful tool for language learning, it is important to use it effectively to optimize your language learning outcomes. Here are some tips and strategies for using ChatGPT to improve your language skills. First, you need to select prompts or questions that are appropriate for your English level. If you are an intermediate learner, choose prompts that are not too difficult, as this will help you to build confidence and improve your skills gradually. On the other hand, if you are a more advanced learner, choose questions that will challenge you and push you to use more complex language. When ChatGPT generates a response, take the time to read it carefully and try to understand the meaning. If you don't understand a word or phrase, look it up in a dictionary or ask a teacher or a tutor for help, or ask ChatGPT to define or explain. Additionally, try to identify any grammar mistakes or vocabulary errors in the response, and use this as an opportunity to learn from your own mistakes. Pay attention to errors in your own language. Use the AI's responses to identify and correct any errors in grammar, syntax, or vocabulary. Try to understand why you made the error and how to avoid making it again in the future. You also need to remember to use ChatGPT as a learning tool, not a crutch. Don't rely solely on the model to generate responses or correct errors. Use it as a tool to practice and improve your language skills, and focus on building your own ability to use the language effectively. And finally, you need to practice regularly. To optimize your language learning outcomes with ChatGPT, it's important to practice often. Set aside time each day or each week to practice writing or speaking, and this will help you to build your skills gradually and see improvements over time. Using ChatGPT to improve your language skills requires selecting appropriate prompts or questions, interpreting responses, identifying and correcting errors, using the model as a language tool, and practicing regularly. By following these tips and strategies, you can use ChatGPT to practice and build your confidence in using English. However, while using AI can be a valuable tool in language learning, it is important to be aware of potential pitfalls and limitations. Although ChatGPT is trained on a large amount of text, it lacks the ability to understand context fully. This can sometimes result in the technology writing inappropriate responses or providing responses that are not relevant. As a result, it is essential to interpret responses with care and to use the ChatGPT's responses carefully. For example, ChatGPT doesn't know anything about the world after 2021. So last year and this year, if you ask it something that, happened in December last year, it won't know it because it was not trained on last year's data. It's before 2021. Also, ChatGPT may not be able to identify specific areas where you need improvement or provide targeted feedback to help you improve. That's where you need a tutor or a teacher. It's important to use ChatGPT as just one tool in a broader approach to language learning, which may include working with teachers, tutors, or language partners, all of which you can find through Thinking in English, of course. Using ChatGPT to practice speaking or writing can help to build your skills, but it does not provide the same kind of spontaneous or random practice as interacting with another person. And it does not have expert knowledge on all types of English, certain dialects or technical language, for example. So it may not be able to generate responses that are specific to certain contexts or disciplines. Right? If you want to speak to it using a dialect from the north of England, it might not be able to do it. In fact, usually it responds in American English rather than British English. So, you have to be careful. And ChatGPT is highly dependent on the quality of the data used to train it. This means that if the data contains biases or errors, then these biases and errors can be reflected in the model's responses. While using AI such as ChatGPT can be a useful tool in language learning, it is important to be aware of its potential limitations and pitfalls. By understanding these limitations and using ChatGPT in conjunction with other language learning methods, it can be a powerful tool for improving language skills and building confidence in English. So here is today's final thought. AI like ChatGPT is going to revolutionize the world. And all of you should try it out now as part of your English learning experience. Some of you may be thinking that AI will never replace real teachers or humans. And you may be right. But as the technology gets better and it is trained on more data, I think the potential is huge. I'm even working on using AI to help English learners. Working with a friend to develop an AI English teacher, which I might be able to use on my Discord server for my members in the future. So if they ever have a grammar question or a vocabulary question, they can just ask the AI, because I might be asleep, or I might be busy, or I might be in a meeting. So I think the potential is huge, and I think everyone should use this new technology, because learn to use it and become familiar with it and what it can do and what it can't do, because there are so many possibilities. How are you going to use AI as part of your English studies? Let me know if you've already tried using it or if you can think of ways to use it in the future. I know already that we run conversation clubs, right? So we do conversation clubs on Tuesdays and Thursdays, but some of our members want to do more. So on Saturdays, we also have study groups, which are being set up and run by Thinking in English members, you guys out there listening now, for other Thinking in English members. So if you join our Patreon, you can join all of these things, study groups and conversation clubs. But one of the study groups on a Saturday, run by a Polish listener, he uses ChatGPT to help make his discussion questions. He doesn't have time to spend hours thinking of questions and making sure the grammar is correct. So instead, he asks the artificial intelligence to do it, and then they have a conversation using his discussion questions, which is an amazing time saver. It also means it's so much easier and less effort for him to run these groups. And I think it's an amazing use. So there's so many different uses out there. In fact, I use AI quite often. If I write something or if I read something I don't understand, I can put it into ChatGPT and ask it to rewrite it in a slightly simpler way, or maybe even recently I asked it to write something in a more formal way, right? Because I'm used to writing in quite an informal, podcasty way at the moment, and I had to write an email. So I wrote an email didn't like how it sounded, put it into the AI and asked it to rewrite it for me in a more formal manner. So there's so many tools you can use it for. Use it to check your spelling mistakes. Use it to check your grammar mistakes. Use it to give you recommendations on how to study. Use it for writing prompts. Use it to make IELTS questions. Just try and use it. And if you don't like it, that's fine. But if you do like it, it might be an interesting tool for you to study with and work with. But if you're interested in the conversation clubs and the study groups that I mentioned, please join. The link is in the description for conversation clubs or for Patreon. And please come and join us. Come and have conversations with people from all around the world. Right? We have members stretching from Japan, Taiwan, and China, all across the world, to India, to Central Asia and Kazakhstan, to Russia, to Poland, everywhere. Italy, France, Spain, Portugal, across to South America and Brazil and Argentina, Mexico, Paraguay. We've got members from all over the world. So please come and join, share your experiences, practice English together, and get motivation. And we also do bonus episodes. I have bonus episodes all the time, so you can come and listen to extra Thinking in English as well. So yeah, join the Patreon. Click the link in the description. You'll enjoy it. There's also English classes. So on our other website, thinkinginenglish.link, link is in the description as well. You can go there and you can pay for English classes. We have B1, B2 and C1 group classes. And we also have one-on-one private tuition classes with qualified English teachers. So there's currently, well, I guess including me, 3 teachers, right? Thomas, Nathan and me, Tom. So go and book a conversation, go book a class. And yeah, please leave likes, ratings and reviews wherever you're listening right now. And yeah, see you next time. Bye. Join the Thinking in English Conversation Club right now. For just $2 a week, you can join with other English learners, practice speaking, have conversations, enjoy yourself, and use new vocabulary. We run conversation clubs every Tuesday and Thursday at 12 p.m, 6 p.m, and 9 p.m. UK time. So there's no excuse. You can join, and you should join right now. Join the Thinking in English Conversation Club, link in the description.